The Minelab Equinox 600. This thing is a powerhouse. If you were to walk up to me today and ask me my advice on what metal detector I would recommend to you, hands down, this is easily, of the three experiences that I've had of metal detectors, one being the Garrett AT Pro, the other being I started out with a Garrett Ace 300, and now I have this Equinox 600 by Minelab. I now know what I have been missing in life as far as metal detecting goes. First, I want to thank Optics Planet for sending this out to give you guys a good look at it, because that's exactly what we're going to do today. I absolutely love this thing. I'll have a link down there in the description box down below, as well as a coupon code if you so decide to purchase this one. Get a little discount off of your purchase over there at Optics Planet. We appreciate them sending this out. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the key features, because again, this thing is super packed with features. So we're going to do my best to just kind of go over the key features that I appreciate about this unit. So if you're not familiar with the Minelab Equinox, this is the 600. They also have what's known as the 800, which has a couple more key features that this one doesn't have. However, we're going to be focusing on mainly, of course, this 600 that I have in my hands here. Again, if you're not familiar with the Minelab Equinox, they have a built-in multi-IQ technology, which essentially means that it's going to give you stable information across all soils, across all metals, because it's going to be detecting them all at once. So it essentially has the power of multiple metal detectors all built into one onboard unit. This searches across three key frequencies, which is 5, 10, and 15 kilohertz. Now I'm just going to go ahead and stop right here, because if you're just getting into metal detecting, this is going to feel like a fire hose of information to your ears. So bear with me, I'm just going to do my best to kind of explain it. Now, if you are a beginner, I highly recommend getting something like this one, because as intimidating as it may seem, with all the features that it has and all these little sub-menus and settings that it has, you can take this thing right out of the box and just go to work with it, simply turn it on and detect. No problem whatsoever. This gives you the ability to learn as you go and as you progress and as you get used to your unit. So again, I've had the Garrett Ace 300 and the Garrett AT Pro. Now with this Minelab Equinox 600, I don't have as much chatter coming out of it as I did with those two units. Now again, my field of testing has only been with those three units, this one, the Ace 300 AT Pro. With the AT Pro and the Ace 300, it seemed like there was so much chatter going on while you're detecting, whether it's just at a park or at a beach or wherever it may be. The thing is, just seems like it's always kind of making noise. And so there's a little bit of false tone going on. With this, I haven't had it make as much chatter as those. So this thing is simply quiet until there's something there. And so that's really nice to have that kind of reassurance that you're not wasting your time digging up or, stalling around trying to figure out what that tone was you just heard. The recovery speed on this thing is also another thing to talk about. And what that means, again, for you newer guys out there, is that when you sweep over a quarter and then you sweep over a bottle cap, you can definitely tell quickly which one is which right away. If they're real close to each other, it would give you a high tone, and then it'll give you a low tone right away, especially if you have the iron audio turned on. So the recovery speed on this thing is great. It's quiet when it needs to be, and it's loud when it needs to be. So that's a really nice aspect of this little metal detector here. So it has three search modes. One is a park mode, the other is a field mode, and the other is a beach mode. Those are really easy to get to. If you just go ahead and hit this button right here, you can see right here we are on the park mode. Now there are two personalized settings that you can have inside of each one of those that you can modify. And so you simply have 6 total. And if I demonstrate right here, I'll show you that. If you take a look right there, you can see we are at the park. And now we are at Park 2. So Park 1 is simply for, your generalized metal detecting, whether it's coins and stuff like that and jewelry. Park 2 is more focused on, say, your fine jewelries and whatnot. And then you have your field, again, same thing with that. And so if you're in a field, you won't have as much like park trash like you would find aluminum foil and stuff like that at a park. When you're in a field, you'll find more coins and relics and whatnot. So Field 1 is for your, like your coins and whatnot, and then Field 2 is for your artifacts. And then you have what's called the beach mode. And the beach, of course, is on Beach 1, the same kind of detecting all throughout with all of these. But then this one focuses and kind of eliminates that wet, dry, those tones that you might get with like salty water and whatnot. So if you're ever around salty water and stuff like that, you want to be on beach, whether it's 1 or 2. And then again, If you're underwater on the beach mode here, you go to 2 and you can use this nicely underwater. So it has those 3 key search modes that you can have inside of it. And again, if you get really into the details, and it's just going to be an extremely long video if I overly explain all of this to you, but just know that once you get into 1 and 2 on each one of these search modes, you can modify those and essentially giving you 6 search modes to just run through to your custom settings that you would like. And those are all programmable, again, going through the settings, but I can't go into it because the video would get really, really long. Weighing in at just under 3 pounds, and the way this thing breaks down makes this extremely nice to be able to pack it up and take it to wherever it is you're going without it being too cumbersome, or the fact that it does break down, it's not loosey-goosey or anything like that. This is a nice, solid unit, and so whenever you break this down, put it back together, and tighten up these cam locks and everything, the whole thing just comes together perfectly. You can just tote this all over the place. I've taken this camping, I've taken it down to the park, to the beach, to the front yard, to the backyard. I mean, I've just taken this thing all over the place and it's been excellent. I found many cool things. One of my coolest finds has been at the river where I found a men's wedding ring.
Okay, I don't have all of the footage, but right over here is a swimming hole where a lot of people just jump in because it's a lot deeper. And I knew I might find something, and out comes this right here. It looks like a man's wedding ring. It says tungsten carbide on it, but this is my first actual cool find with this detector outside of just coins and stuff.
Which brings me right to my next subject. Being that this is waterproof, you have no worries at all. You can drop this under at least 10 feet of water, as you can see by the footage that I showed you there and by the footage that I'm rolling in. I left this thing just as a test underwater for a while just to see if the water was going to try to push into the the main head unit right here itself, or into any other controls of it. And I've had 0 issues with it whatsoever, and I've been trucking along with it. This thing is, again, just a powerhouse. Built really well, waterproof, is excellent, shockproof. I toss stuff around all the time. When I go camping, it gets jumped around in the back of the Jeep and whatnot. So just know that this thing is built pretty solid. So it has a rechargeable lithium ion cable that you just magnetically stick to the back of the unit right here, back of the head there, and that will simply charge you right up. I haven't had to charge this thing too often because it actually has a 12-hour runtime on it. So you can literally metal detect for 12 hours straight. This will also stay on if you are charging it with, say, a backup battery that you might have laying around. So that's kind of nice. You can actually piggyback an external charger that you may have laying in your back pocket or Velcro to the back of this thing. So you get a lot of hours just basically on one charge. I like the wireless feature that it has on it. So if I click on that wireless button right there, it does come with these very nice foldable little wired headset right there, which plugs right into the bottom of it. And these work great. These are excellent. I have these Walker Razor BT Extremes right here that I actually pair this to with the Bluetooth feature that it has on these headsets. Now these are, what you would wear at a shooting range or, loud environments. So this cancels out every noise around you, and all you hear is the tones of the metal detector itself. So this wireless feature allows you to do that. You can connect wirelessly or Bluetooth to any Bluetooth or wireless headset that you might have laying around. So that's a really nice feature, which gives you, a lot more mobility. You're not gonna have that wire hanging all over the place. There's been so many times I've bent down to dig something up and stand back up and rip the headphones off of my head because they're caught on my knee or the shovel or something like that. So having that little built-in feature, really nice to have. I really like the large LCD screen on here, which is actually pretty easy to read. You can see I got notches going off. I have it on right now. It's of course indoors, so it's detecting like metal studs, the desk metal and stuff like that. So you can see it going off here. But that goes into my next topic here, is you can actually notch out any one of these that you don't want to have, such as you would be able to with a lot of more modern metal detectors. We won't go too far into that because that's a feature that's kind of out there and known already. The backlight is a really nifty thing to have right there. As you can see just how bright that is. That is actually really good to have during extreme daylight brightness, because there's so much glare going on whenever you're trying to metal detect in extreme daylight that you get, it kind of clouds out what you're trying to look at. Well, with this backlight on here, really helps to have that. And so say if you're metal detecting under low light conditions, you can actually hit that again and it will drop you down to a lower. As you can see, it is barely glowing under there, which is great for nighttime hunting because you don't want to have the thing blinding you as you're trying to metal detect. So it's got a very low light feature right there, and again, you can just turn that right off. And just to give you perspective, here's the brightest function again as to how bright that is. So it's nice to have those two features in there because one would be too bright at night and the other wouldn't be bright enough in the daylight. So you get two options there. One of the nice things I like about this unit right here is that you can actually update the software with it via the charging cable. If you connect that to your computer right there and then get onto their website, you can actually update this firmware, the software I should say, as you go on if new updates come out. Now I haven't seen any new updates for this one in a long time, which I think they've probably perfected everything about it. So, but just know that if any updates come out, you have the ability to keep this thing up to speed with modern technology. Again, I don't want to make this video extremely too long, so I'll just kind of go over just a couple more features about it. I will have some more update videos with this Minelab Equinox 600 out there, but if I tried to explain everything all in one video, it'd get really tiresome in this video itself. This does ship with an 11-inch Double D smart coil on it, so that's kind of nice. I don't like the wrist or where your forearm goes into this little area right here, so I've simply velcroed an extra padding in there. I always feel like my arm's kind of sliding back and forth while it's resting in there, my elbow. The whole thing comes together and goes apart just fine. I mean, the whole thing is pretty solid. It is an excellent unit to have, whether you're a newer hunter or even an experienced one, I would say. If anybody's looking for something, again, if you were to ask me, this is the unit that I would recommend. It's got a decent price point. You're going to see a lifetime of service with this. It is a very nice unit to have. I mean, I can go through all the features right now, but again, it'd just be way too long of a video. So we will have more videos coming out on this one again. And if you like this video, feel free to hit that like button down there. Again, I have a link down there in the description box down below for Optics Planet. I want to thank them for sending this one out to give you guys a good look at it. And we're going to have many more videos with this coming out as well. I found a lot of cool stuff which I've been rolling in here, just the footage. And again, it's just nice to get outdoors and enjoy, doing something like this. So. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll catch you on the next video.